Hi everyone, my name is Serena. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back and I don't have a huge explanation why I've been gone for the past 3 months, but basically the reason is that I haven't been reading. I have not read anything in the last 3 months of the year 2021. I only read one book that I'm planning on rereading this month or next month, so I'm not gonna talk about it. I have watched a few movies and shows, but yeah, I wasn't reading anything, so I couldn't film anything and I didn't have the time. I'm back in New Jersey, as you can tell, but I'm ready to get back into reading, get back into filming, because I miss you guys. And I have so many books to read. I received a few books that I want to show you guys in another video, but for now I have to do, of course, my best and worst books of 2021 video, because it's almost February and I haven't yet. So let's get right into this video. Before I do that, I want to just share some stats and some of my goals from the past year. I read more releases for sure. I read Concrete Rose, I read Malibu Rising, I read A Court of Silver Flames, and more I'm sure that I'm not thinking about right now. But I did not read every single new release that I wanted to. I really wanted to read Last Night at the Telegraph Club. I wanted to read The Ones We're Meant to Find, One Last Stop, Island Queen, Survive the Night, and I did not. So I did read new releases, but not all the ones that I wanted to read. Complete series. So I had a list of series that I wanted to complete, and out of the 7 series that I have written down, I've completed 2 of them. So I completed the Krisha trilogy and the Revenant Chronicles. I'm so happy I did. I did read more thrillers. I read The Turn of the Key, No Exit, If We Were Villains. I enjoyed all of these. Also read books set around the world. Not really, honestly. I wish I did. I read a few of the Italian classics and Frederick Bachman's books that are usually set in Sweden, and I don't know. Others, like Words in Deep Blue, set in Australia, and a couple set in Canada. One goal that I'm super proud of is doing more buddy reads and maybe try a live show. I did so many buddy reads last year and I'm so happy about that. I buddy read with Marley, Isabel, Olivia, Mary, Hillary, all of my friends, and here on booktube, and I want to continue doing that because that really pushed me to read, and it was so much fun. So much fun. Even the books that I did not like, we had so many discussions, and I did try 2 or 3 live shows. My internet was horrible when I did them, but I'm glad that I got out of my comfort zone and did that. The last 2 goals that I have written here are do more secret TBRs. Again, not as much as I wanted to. I did 2 of them. I did reading books recommended to my zodiac sign and reading books that Dua Lipa enjoyed. Also read at least 58 books, because the previous year in 2020 I had read 57. So I always like add 1 book to that goal for the next year. So 58 books, I completed that. I read 67 books. So exactly 10 books more than 2020. Amazing. It's the most books I've ever read in a year. But yeah, for this year, for 2022, I obviously put 68. So will I complete this goal? I don't know. I don't think so, because I don't know. 68 seems like a lot of books for me, but I'm going to try my best. But at the same time, I'm not going to pressure myself. Those are my 2021 goals. I think I did pretty good. As for the stats on Goodreads, as I said, in 2021 I read 67 books. I'm so happy about that. I read 20,922 pages. My shortest book was 48 pages, Sea Prayer by Khaled Hosseini, and my longest book was 816 pages, A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Average book length is 312. Most popular, Emma by Jane Austen, and least popular is Marry Me, this random book that I found at my house. Average rating 3.7, which is not bad. It's almost 4. These are my basic stats on Goodreads. So how I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna tell you one of my worst books, one of my best books, until I've told you all of them. They're gonna be 5 each, 5 worst, 5 best. And by worst, I guess it's more like most disappointing and most enjoyable, because who am I to judge? The first book that I want to talk about is one of my worst books of 2021. I barely finished it. I just skimmed through the last pages. I'm pretty sure I kind of DNF'd it. This is We Ride Upon Sticks by Quan Barry. I just think that this book wasn't targeted towards me. It wasn't for me because it is set during the 80s. It's about this group of kids, this hockey team, and it's about like dark magic. It has a lot of cultural references, a lot of pop culture references of the 80s, and I love the 80s, don't get me wrong. I really wanted to love this because of that. I love the 80s, I love the 70s, I love the 90s, I love like all that time period, you know. But I don't know if it was also like the writing, the point of view was a wee point of view, so it was weird. I just couldn't click with it. I had the audiobook as well. I tried to read it like physically, I tried to read it via audiobook, and something just, I don't know, I couldn't get through it. So the first best book for me in 2021 wasn't actually a masterpiece at all, but it was just the most entertaining and surprising of 2021, believe it or not, and that is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I know, best book, what? I was just looking through all the books that I read last year, and this just pops up for some reason. It just sticks with me in my mind because it was entertaining. That's it. I hate Rhysand. I hate Farah. And I found this book hilarious because it's so cringy and a lot of unrealistic stuff happens. Obviously, it's also like a fantasy, what do you expect? But I just had a great time reading this for some reason. And also, I have to admit, Nesta is my favorite character, and the character development that she went through was good. So this is in 5th place, I guess. The next worst book of 2021 is one that I knew I wasn't gonna like. It's Flawless by Sarah Shepard. It's the second book in the Pretty Little Liars series that I'm not continuing. I already knew that I wasn't gonna continue even before reading this book, but I just did because I had it physically. And yeah, as predicted, I did not like it because it's outdated. It's about teenagers who do horrible stuff, and it is kind of problematic, like with the relationships and the eating disorder that one of the characters has. It's kind of problematic, and I feel like nowadays they wouldn't write about those things the same way. So it is one of my worst books of 2021, but I'm not surprised. I kind of want to talk about these, the 3rd and 4th place of my best books together, because they're both thrillers. In 2021, I discovered that I think I really like thrillers. And my 3rd and 4th place in my best books of 2021 are No Exit by Taylor Adams and The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. It was just so much fun trying to figure out, and I was literally glued to the books, especially No Exit. I could not stop reading that book. It was so much fun, and I was on the edge of my bed reading during the night. It was so much fun, and I kind of want to reread it, but I want to read other stuff too because I know I will find more thrillers like that. I just have to find them, you know. For my third place of worst books of 2021, I have 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl by Mona Awad. I honestly don't even remember this book because I read it last January. I just remember being so bored, and I found it to be so weird and problematic, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I'm a great judge of these things, but I just did not like it at all, and I am hesitant in reading more of Mona Awad's books. I know that she wrote Bunny and All's Well. I want to try Bunny, but I just don't know if weird books are for me. So I probably will try it. I just don't know when. I just did not like this book. My second place in my best books of 2021 is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I love this book. I was not expecting to love this book because I'm not a huge fan of romance. And last year in February, I made a whole vlog about it. I didn't end up loving any of the books that I read except this one. This was just so much fun. There was that comedy element to it, that humor that made me laugh while reading, and I don't usually laugh or cry or, I don't know, show any emotions. Maybe frustration, I show that a lot when I'm reading, but I don't actually like cry or laugh a lot. But this made me laugh so much, and I enjoyed the couple. There's a lot of representation, and I want to read the other two books in the series about the other two sisters. I have them here with me on my shelves, and I want to read them this year, and hopefully they'll be amazing too. For my second place in worst books of 2021 is another book that I read in January last year. So most of my worst books of 2021 I read at the very beginning of the year. So I don't remember much about them. I just know that I did not like them. And this one is Unravel Me by Tara Mafi. It's the second book in the Shatter Me series. I did not like the Shatter Me series in general, and I'm definitely not going to continue on with the series. I only read the first 3 books. But the second one, for some reason, oh my god, I hated it. I just hated the love interest. That's all I remember. I hated the love interest. When I don't like something, I just make space for other things in my mind. So I just kind of start forgetting after a while. But I just remember hating the love interest, and the main character was annoying, and that's it. Now we are left with our first place in worst and best, and I want to start with the worst now because I want to end on a positive note. So my worst book, number 1 in 2021, is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I know there are a lot of people who love this book. You either love it or hate it, and I am on the hate side of it. I read it with Olivia, as I said at the beginning of this video. We had so many great conversations. It was just a very upsetting. It was really upsetting, and at one point it really felt just unrealistic. It was just trauma after trauma after trauma, bad thing after bad thing, that I just didn't feel anything by the end. I don't want to talk a lot about it because I think I've talked plenty when I read it back in the summer, in June I think. So I'm going to leave the link to my wrap up in the description box where I talk about it, and that's it. Let's end on a positive note, and let's talk about my best book of 2021, which is, did you guess it? Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I just love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I did not read all of her books. I read her latest 3. I read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Daisy Jones and the Six, and Malibu Rising, and I adored every single one of them. I just love this topic, like this setting, you know, the 70s, the 80s in Los Angeles, Malibu, you know, California, like old Hollywood. I love the flashbacks. I love the family dynamics. Also, the party. I just can't get over how realistic the party scene was, because at first it was so slow, you know, with the flashbacks, with the, you know, trying to explain to you what was going on, and then the party happened and everything was so chaotic. It really gave you the idea that the sense that you were there, because a lot of things were happening around these characters, and I really want to reread this book. It's just, it was great. I read this with Hillary from Melted Books, and we both really enjoyed it, and I want to reread it, and it was amazing. That's it. I don't know what else to say. And those are those are my worst and best books of 2021. Have you read any of these? Let me know. Do you agree, disagree? I hope you all had a great 2021, and I hope you all have a great 2022, reading wise, life wise, and I cannot wait to post more. How are you guys doing? Let me know. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.